All right, let's do the Atolang update. I have a few going on up here. I've got the 3 giants. We'll check those out first. There's the towering beauties up there under the pines. We started them in 20-gallon pots with cover crops of clover, buckwheat, and vetch for nitrogen fixing. Also had some calendula, flowers. Chopped a lot of that back, chop and drop, and now I've cleared up about 5 feet underneath these beautiful queens. We've got 3 here. Let's see if we can't get a better look. At the moment, it is hard to even get them all in the picture. They are massive. So I'm standing about 6 foot tall, and then there's gotta be another 5 feet up there. They are starting to flower, although I think I had a little bit of an issue. What was going on is I depped them to trigger earlier because I want them to finish here. And they did flower with the depth, but then what happened was I saw that they had triggered and I stopped tarping, and I believe they started to re-veg, started to go back. So now they are flowering again, but you can see we don't have big flowers. You know, we're very petite, which is fine, but I suppose the problem is hoping for a finish. Hard to get a good view on these. I'm not getting much for terpene profiles off these at the moment. Let's have a better look. All right, here we are. The gorgeous Indian genetics from Zomia Collective. Thank you. Look at these gorgeous beauties. That's as high as I can reach, and we're still quite a bit higher. The plants are beautiful. I'm really hoping we can finish and something to smoke, but it's possible that these ones don't finish. So I'm actually going to take some more clones and I'm going to take them inside, and I'm going to see if I can, do something, even if it takes a few more months, to root some clones and actually get these girls to finish, because I want to see what they're like. I want to smell their profiles. I mean, I'll get that soon, but I want them to finish. I want to try some Indian landrace cannabis myself. These things are beautiful, very vine-like. And I mean, the stalk, look at the stalk on this one. This one's massive for a fabric pot. She's not going anywhere. And the other 2 are about half the size. And we did have what we have. We're losing some of the bigger fans. Actually, it tends to pull everything from the smalls and the insides. It really wants to just shoot out and have all its growth on the top and the outside of the plant. So it dies back on the inside, by itself. But then we can see we've got lots of health and green on all the growth tips. I do have some that I am getting profiles off of. I made some seeds. I took clones off of a few of these. Why don't we go have a look over there? We'll take a quick walk past Boston Bob's, Miracle of the Fishes. Oh, let's have a quick chat about this one. This is also an Atolang. This one I'm very excited about. This was one of the last ones I put in, so it's not very tall. Kind of a 1 stem, 5 foot tall, but you can see the flowers are much further along, and I think this is going to be the early finishing variety out of the 7 or 8 females I had going on. Let's get got a little bit of resin there for a interesting. I'm getting that citrusy, little bit of citrus, could be a lime. It's like a green citrus. Oh, it's quite complex. There's some floral in there. There's like a floral citrus. Anyway, I took a few clones off this one recently because I could see this is kind of the one I'm looking for. You know, we were a little broadleaf. The other ones were broadleaf too, lower down, and as they got taller, the leaves narrowed off. You can see here, you know, we did have quite broad leaves, but then as it grows taller, you get your very narrow leaf. So this one is cloned inside. This is the one I want to run again. And maybe, you know, maybe I hit this with some pollen. I did save some Atolang pollen from my 3 males. I sent some to Defino Hunter so that he can mess around with his big 30-foot tall beauty that he's got, or 15 foot, however tall she is. So maybe I'll make seeds with that earlier finishing one. Here's another Atolang. This one is in the ground. This is my beast. Considering this thing is in the shade completely, you can see there's some dappled light here and there's some morning light. This thing is gorgeous. We're sitting about 8 foot wide, about 8 foot tall. And it was the last one I had, and I had nowhere else to put it. This was going to be a spot for a plum tree, but instead we've got a beautiful Indian landrace from Atolang Village here. This one I didn't have to dep. It started flowering by itself. But again, this has got to be, what, 2 weeks into flower, if anything, 12, 14 days. So this probably won't finish either, but I'm happy with the observation, you know, getting a chance to grow the plants. And I'm gonna push these. If they're not gonna finish, we're still gonna see what they're gonna do. We're gonna run them into the frost, run them into the snow, and see how they go. And if I can run till mid-November, I will. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's go look at the other couple we've got. This beauty here. This is another Atolang. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Atolang. Anyway, from the Atolang Village. This one looking good, kind of like the one we just saw in terms of how far along in flower. It can only be 12, 14 days along in flower. But this one's growing nice and tall. This one from the ground up, we're definitely 8 foot tall, this one. And this one's not really getting much for food. It does get some irrigation water. I've been chopping and dropping a bit down here. And it does get a few FPJs when I feed everything. So this one, they're all beautiful, you know. We've got different amounts of fingers on the different plants. This is your 5 finger. There was a 9 finger and an 11. You know, so we're getting varied leaf morphologies from the different sisters. Here's another one here. Let me put my coffee down, have a peek. Yeah, so we've got another one under the pines here. Same thing, not really any food, chop and drop. And this one's about 6 foot tall, lots of shade again. This one's about the same. So they all seem to be triggering at the same time, you know, which is late. They're triggering at the beginning of September. We want them triggering at the beginning of August or mid-August for finishing in Canada. So again, we're about 12, 14 days in on this. So none of these girls are really going to finish on time for me. So I'm excited about the one that I've cloned and the chance to run it again. Down here we've got our seeds. We've got a few different seeds going on here. We have the Vietnamese increase I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3 Vietnamese females with a few other plants that took the Vietnamese pollen. This is a Jalalabad re-vegging. Total bush. Look at this cousin bush from the re-veg. But even the Vietnamese you can see is re-vegging too. But back to the Atolang, here we are. So I've got at least 4 or 5 clones back here. I think only 2 are the same, but they're looking really healthy and green. Lots of food in the pots. So these are producing seeds, which were just an increase from my 3 males to about 5 clones, maybe 4 different females. Oh, we're getting a lot more profile off of the seeded ones, a lot more resin here. Oh, that is a beautiful floral terpene profile off of this one. I'll be able to find out which one it is. I've got them labeled down below, but I'm not moving them too much because they're kind of dropping some of the seeds like my Burmas do when they're seeded. The ones that are, you know, that were pollinated first on the shoulders of the buds, they seem to finish quicker and they want to drop off by themselves. So we're getting floral, beautiful floral, like a jasmine flower. Real nice. Let's see if we can get something off of another one. Almost a little bit of a, excuse the fingers, almost a little bit of a pink pistil coming on that one. I'm sure you can't see that very well. Oh, and this one is different. This one is more dark and musky and earthy. So we're getting like an earthy musk. Oh yeah, there's no floral, there's nothing sweet. That's like a damp basement musk on that one. Let's see if we get anything different from this one in here. Sweet. That one's got a little bit more sweet to it. So we're getting a mix of terpenes. Anyway, these beautiful plants, let's have a look. They're like vines. Just long internodal spacing, like vines. They're all leaning over each other like spaghetti here just to hold themselves up. So I know I'm gonna have some fun trying to grow them indoors. You can see there the seed trying to fall out right there. I'll have to be careful. So that's the Atolang. That's what I've got going on. Thanks for checking it out. We appreciate the seeds from Ryan Kofer and from Eloise at Zomia Collective. Really enjoying running these plants, really enjoying playing with them, increasing the seeds, taking clones. Can't wait to, work with the other guys and, do some seed swapping, pollen swapping, clone sharing, and just getting to the end of the adventure with everyone. So shout out to Future Cannabis Project for letting us showcase this, and shout out Zomia Collective for allowing us to grow these awesome genetics. Hopefully we can do something again in the future with maybe another strain from a different region and showcase what these heirloom genetics are all about. There's the beautiful landrace. Cheers from Kelowna.